The fight starts now!
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to London ahead of a huge press conference for a fantastic fight. I say domestic fight, but also a fight that has such huge ramifications for the world 175-pound scene. Of course, Joshua Buatsi, Olympic bronze medalist, against Craig Richards, a man who's won British titles, challenged for the world title as well. This is the kind of fight that really gets me excited. This is the kind of fight that seems so obvious. Two brilliant domestic fighters, but two world-class fighters as well. Of course, a world title challenger in Craig Richards and a man that many believe is destined for greatness at 175 pounds. I want to thank the teams of both fighters. You have to understand, these guys know each other. Both from Croydon and Crystal Palace. They're a stone's throw away from each other. They've known each other for many, many years. Sometimes in boxing, they don't want to make these fights. Trainers, managers, advisors, fighters, we'll wait for our world title shot. You need to stop waiting. Fighters out there that are queuing up for a world title shot that is not imminent, don't stall your career when you could be involved in brilliant fights. Fights that could take your career to another level. And that's what we've got May 21st in London. Thank you for everyone for turning up today. Of course, the teams, Peter Sims, 258, everybody that helped make this fight happen. Thank you for Joshua Buatsi for flying in from America last night. Craig, I'll start with you. You're one of those guys that's looking at Bivol, that's looking at Joe Smith. You boxed Dimitri Bivol in a very close fight. A lot of people felt that if you believed in yourself enough earlier in that fight, you'd be sitting here as world champion today. But you've seen from the reaction today, the media, down at TalkSport as well, this is a big, big domestic fight. Yeah,
100%, Eddie. Thank yourself and Matchroom and everyone for making this fight. I think it's a fight that was always going to be in the pipeline. I believed I was going to get to world level. He was obviously destined for world level stuff as well, so we knew we'd cross paths at some point, and it's a good clash. Of course, for myself, I want to get back into that mix, challenge for the world title and win a world title, and I think this is the bridge to cross to make that happen today.
Obviously, two different paths to where you are today. Joshua Buatsi had the stellar amateur career. He went to the Olympics, signed the deal, boxed at some huge shows as well. You've had to do things slightly more different, box on some smaller hall shows. You took the Frank Buglioni fight on a week's notice. You went and boxed Shakan Pitters in his back garden, beat him by knockout to win. You got an opportunity to jump in with Dimitri Bivol. You've taken all challenges and very different paths to meet each other today.
Yeah, 100%, Eddie. Obviously I've been thrown in the deep end a few times and just been swimming, but I had no regrets to that because that's what's put me in good stead for today. I've had a lot of domestic clashes, a lot of grudge matches, a lot of cross-path fights, and all of that today has built my experience and my ability today to be confident enough to go in to win and win well May 21st. I believe that if I didn't have those fights, maybe it might have been a harder fight if this fight was scheduled without the experience. But I believe all of that's put me in good stead and I'm ready to go, and that's what's made me confident. And I'm seeing the growth in myself every fight, every week, every day in the gym. And I'm just looking to go and perform May 21st from all that experience of showing that hard route meant a lot.
I think we've seen from the bookies and probably across social as well, people view Joshua Buatsi as the favourite for this fight. You obviously don't see it that way as well. Does that get under your skin a little bit, considering all the fights that you've been in your career so far?
Nah, because if you look at all the titles I've won at light heavyweight even, I think 3 of the fights I was the underdog in them as well. When I beat Jake Bull, massive underdog in the bookies, they ripped me off. I went out there, delivered, got the knockout. Shakan Pitters, massive underdog again in the bookies again, went out there and delivered. My last title fight, for once I was the favourite, didn't mean any difference, went out and delivered. So whether the bookies want to sleep on me or not, that's up to them. That's all it means. If they do sleep on me, my friends make a lot of money, and if they don't, then my friends don't cash in as much. But it doesn't matter to me. It's the same job at hand. It doesn't make make, if the bookies say he's the favourite, make him any stronger or give him any more powers, vice versa. The same person's in front of me. I'm not focused on the bookies or what people say. I've got a job to do it at hand, and I will deliver.
I know you speak with a lot of confidence going into this fight. You have a lot of respect for Joshua Buatsi as well. What do you see in him that makes you believe that you can win this fight? So I heard a comment earlier on TalkSport where you gave him respect from coming back to what you described from being hurt badly in the Kalic fight as well. Do you look at that fight particularly when you analyse the career of Joshua Buatsi?
No, I won't look at it in terms of like, oh, well, pick up on that, or he got caught there or caught there, because as myself, he's going to the gym to improve and iron out all his flaws fight by fight. What I did see in that, he showed heart and he showed grit, that he bit down on his gum shield when he's in a tough situation. So I know he's got the will to win, and he will come to win. And especially like the other unbeaten fighters I've faced, more importantly, they got more will to win. They won't want to lose their O. So I know that he ain't going to come to lie down. But that's for me to go and prepare well to make sure I get the task done come fight night.
And also, you were asked if you think Joshua Buatsi will overlook you. You actually went the other way, and you said you think he'll prepare harder than he's ever prepared for a fight before. Obviously, made the trip out to America, making sacrifices, but he knows you. You know, you've grown up together in the game, and you believe he knows that this is a very tough fight on the 21st of May.
Yeah, Joshua's not a stupid guy. You know, he's very intelligent. He's not silly enough to just like gas himself up to say, yeah, this is an easy fight, and I'm just going to go there and walk over Richards. He's not stupid. So I know that he's going to be preparing very hard. He's going to invest in his camp, and he's going to be preparing diligently for me. And it's the same. I'm not going to be looking at him and thinking this is no walkover task either. I'll be preparing just as hard, if not harder, for him as well. We both know that we're in for a solid fight May 21st, and I don't think anyone's sleeping on each other. I believe that we'll both be well prepared and be coming to give our A-star games on May 21st.
JB, thanks for making a trip. I know when you sat in our office a few months ago now, this was the fight that you wanted. These were the kind of nights that you wanted, the ability to headline big arenas in big domestic fights that people get excited about. You see your opponent there speaking very confidently, very well as well. This is a real fight on May 21st.
Yeah, it is, Eddie. Thank all you guys for coming out. Yeah, like you said a few months ago, I sat at your office, I said, Eddie, get me these fights. There's good light heavies in the country, so it's good that at least I can mix it with one of them. And as fighters, you go to shows and you watch, and when there's a main event and there's a buzz in the crowd and there's a good fight, and you say, damn, I wish I was in there. So I've got mine now. So I think for me, it's just to prepare for May the 21st. Spider will bring the A game, but I'll be ready, man.
It was a great performance last time out at fight camp. Obviously, you had an injury going in December fight, but yeah. A lot of people talk about this being the toughest fight of your career so far. Bolotnik's was very tough, but do you view that this is the biggest test of your career so far? And of course, whenever there's a domestic rivalry, if you like, whether you like each other or not, you are from a stone's throw apart as well. There's always going to be that extra edge to these fights.
Yeah, there is, man. And I feel, again, I wouldn't dub it as the hardest or this or that. For me, it's just the most important fight in my career right now. It's the next fight. It's the fight that I must win. Last time it was Bolotnik's cool, but this time it's Spider. And for me, I'll prepare as diligently as I do. Come May 21st, I'll be ready, man.
Obviously, a lot of people queuing up for world titles right now in the division. You've got, of course, part of the Matchroom team, yourself, Craig Richards, also Callum Smith wanting a shot at the world title. Then across in other organisations, you've got Callum Johnson, you've got Anthony Yard. We know that it looks like Beterbiev's fighting Joe Smith for a unification. Obviously, Canelo Alvarez is fighting Bivol as well. Important for boxing that these fights are made. If you're good enough, you win these fights, and you shouldn't just be sitting around waiting for that perfect opportunity. These are the kind of fights that the fans want to see.
For sure, and I have to thank you and thank Spider's team, my team, of course, for making this fight happen. Like you said, fighters can tend to wait for the opportunity, and for me currently, it's looking a bit tricky, but I've got a good fight, and that's what I'm concentrating on.
I know you only look at fight by fight, but the reality is that on May the 7th in Las Vegas, Canelo Alvarez will fight Dimitri Bivol. This fight is an official eliminator for the WBA world title. Canelo Alvarez wants the fight in London in December. We have the mandatory at 168 in John Ryder, and this person will be sitting as the mandatory at 175. I know you don't look at that, but this is a really important fight for the division, for you, and How would you feel about a potential fight with Canelo Alvarez in December if you were triumphant?
I think that definitely makes this a big fight for me. It makes it even more important. I know what's at stake. I know what the reward is. And that's what I said when I was in Arizona. I'll fight these guys as long as I know that this is what's next. And you've just said, this may lead to the world title fight next. So for me, I'm easy. No matter who it is, I'm prepared. And I think I'm at the point where I want to fight these guys. I want to get into these big fights. So for me, May 21st is the first stop. We handle that, and then we deal with whoever's next.
Craig, I know you've got a great boxing brain. You study the sport, and I know that the familiar answer to this question is whatever it takes, by any means necessary. But how do you beat Joshua Buatsi? Do you have to outbox him? Do you have to take him into deep waters? Can you stop him in this fight as well?
I think I've got the capabilities of winning anyway. I think the most important thing is to prepare all round the board. I've got to be prepared for everything. At this level, you can't just go, all right, I'm just going to win it off a jab, or I'm going to win it by just closing him down and going to work. You've got to prepare for plan A, B, C and D. You might have to get rough and ready. You might have to box, be clever. It all depends on the night. You've got to just make sure you've prepared from A, B, C and D, have all your game plans, be fit, ready and strong, and on the night just make it happen. And listen to your team, most importantly, and make sure you execute what you need to execute to win the fight.
JB, finally, I know one of the nicest guys out of the ring, but as you said earlier, once the bell goes, the switch flicks and bad intentions in the ring, looking to do a job on Craig Richards on May 21st.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's nothing new that outside I'm cool, calm, probably like a lot of boxers, but when I'm in that ring, I know what time it is. I know what I have to do. I know what the situation is, what the setup is. Never ever in the States, we always say nice guys come last, and that's what it is in the ring. Outside the ring, be however you want to be, but in that ring, I know what it is that I have to do, and on May, I'll be ready.
Well, thank you, Joshua Buatsi. Thank you, Craig Richards. A brilliant fight in the light heavyweight division. So obvious to make this great domestic fight, but thank you for both guys for accepting it. You've seen recently, Liam Smith against Anthony Fowler gave us a sold-out arena, an electric night. Obviously, Britain against Ireland recently, with Lee Wood against Michael Conlan, one of the greatest nights I've ever witnessed as a fight fan. This Saturday as well, don't forget, Josh Warrington bidding to become a two-time world champion in front of 12,000 people in Leeds against Kiko Martinez. As we move into April, of course, Conor Benn against Chris Van Heerden in Manchester, and the epic fight at Madison Square Garden, Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano, and a week after that, Canelo Alvarez against Dimitri Bivol at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas before we go May 21st. The official venue will be announced tonight or first thing in the morning. It will be in London. Joshua Buatsi against Craig Richards, an eliminator for the WBA Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. It's going to be a tremendous fight. Don't miss it, live on Dazn all around the world. We're going to have a head-to-head here, and both gentlemen will be available for the media. Thank you for coming today. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. It's now time for the featured bout of the evening. From the four corners of the world, to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now!